I'm Michael Reed, 35 years old, and this is my tale. For 6 years, I was hitched to my gorgeous wife, who, at 31, could have passed for a woman in her early 20s. Even though we had this tight bond, kids never came into the picture. I was all in for starting a family, but she kept hitting the brakes, always tossing me a maybe soon with a smile. Our time in the bedroom? Man, it was something else, not just the physical stuff, but the way her kisses and hugs wrapped me up in warmth. I'd find any excuse to get close to her, just to feel that connection. Holding her tight made everything in the world feel right, like nothing else mattered. She always met me halfway, fully in the moment. All through our marriage, I thought we were solid, figured she felt the same. But I screwed up big time by trusting her too much. Her name's Emily, and what started as love turned into this burning hate before fading into a cold, empty nothing. Folks say love's opposite is not caring at all, but that's not how it feels to me. My heart went from love to this dark, icy anger that left me hollowed out. I don't know if I'll ever climb out of this hole. If the world was on fire, I wouldn't lift a finger to save her. You're probably wondering how a guy who was head over heels ended up eaten alive by revenge. It all kicked off at the company Christmas party last year. Emily always went all out for those events, dressing in ways that turned every head in the room. At first, I was cool with it, kind of proud, even, knowing the hottest woman there was my wife. But I couldn't ignore the looks she got, the kind that screamed what every guy was thinking. She wore this dress that barely left anything to the imagination. My wife looked like she stepped out of a fantasy. I started wondering who she was dolling up for. I'm not usually the jealous type, but I don't share what's mine. As long as that line was clear, we were good. Before we headed out, I told Emily straight up that guys would be all over her, but I trusted her to keep things respectful, for her sake and mine. I'm not the kind of man who puts up with nonsense. My buddies at the martial arts gym call me the Crusher for a reason. They know I can get real intense if I need to. Emily never saw that side of me, and I hoped she never would. I had this gnawing feeling in my gut before we left the house. You could call it a bad vibe, like something was off. "What's with the long face, Jake? You look like someone ran over your dog," she said, flashing that killer smile that always got me going. That grin of hers never failed to stir something in me. "Honestly, babe, I'd rather just stay home this time," I said, using her nickname and hoping she'd be on the same page. "What's wrong, hon?" "I thought you loved these parties," she replied, sliding on a pair of sheer black stockings that made it hard to focus. "Don't be a buzzkill. We hardly ever go dancing, and I'm dying to cut loose and have a good time." "I'm almost ready, let's hit the road," she added, sounding a little annoyed that I was dragging my feet. "Hang on, come here first. Let me fix that situation I see going on with you. Can't have my guy walking around all worked up tonight. I had no clue that'd be the last time we'd be together like that. Man, that was amazing, boo. I love you so much, let me return the favor." "Easy there, Tiger," she laughed. "If we get started, we'll never make it to the party." "Yeah, sweetheart, that's kinda my point," I said, watching her touch up her lipstick. I still couldn't shake the worry on my face. "Didn't I take care of you, hon?" "Something's still bugging you," she said. Something felt wrong. She was way too pumped about this damn party. "It's just, last year's party got a bit too crazy for me. There was all this handsy nonsense going on. People get drunk and start acting like idiots. You know I'm not great with big crowds. And ever since Jim got promoted to VP, he's been hitting on every woman in the office. Word around the office was that Jim had hooked up with a few of the women there. Last year, I came real close to decking him. The way he was always hovering around Emily, not to mention that dance they had, really got under my skin. Jim, the president's nephew, was a real sleaze, acting like the world revolved around him. He had a wife and 2 kids, and I genuinely felt bad for her, she deserved way better than that jerk. I'd seen him at past parties, flirting with women in a way that left his wife looking humiliated. For the last couple of years, she'd stopped showing up to these things altogether. She was a classy woman, easy on the eyes too, and I couldn't wrap my head around why she stuck with that arrogant fool. He's just a harmless flirt, babe. I've got him handled, Emily said. You know I'm proud to be yours. I love you more than anything, don't you ever doubt that. No reason to get worked up. Yeah, he's tall, loaded, and good-looking, but he'll never hold a candle to you. You're my guy, always will be. Her describing him like that rubbed me the wrong way, but I let it slide. Emily had never given me any cause to question her loyalty. They say love makes you blind, and man, was I ever. I could tell her mind was made up, there was no talking her out of this party. Sometimes, you gotta give a little to get a lot, you know. I was already thinking about how I'd sweep her off her feet and make love to her like crazy when we got home. We rolled up to the party a bit late. Some folks were already tipsy, the music was pumping, and the room was alive with dancing, laughter, and good vibes. I figured I'd try to go with the flow, hoping the night would wrap up quick. The second we walked in, Mark Johnson slithered over, giving me a limp handshake that made my skin crawl. Then he turned to Emily, staring at her like a creep, grabbing her hand and planting a long kiss on it, acting like I wasn't even there. My blood was boiling, and I was about 1 second from laying him out. This night was gonna test my patience, I could tell. Emily shot me a quick wink, like she was saying we were solid, and we started working the room. Then Jim strutted over, grabbing Emily's arm like he owned her. She didn't pull away. Come meet some of our new hires, he said with this smug, predatory grin, acting like she was his date. You cool with that, Jake? He tossed out, not even waiting for my answer. Emily gave me that, just chill, look of hers, so I swallowed my pride and let it go. My buddy Mike saw the whole thing go down and pulled me over to a group of guys who were playing some drinking game, swapping tall tales while their wives mingled and chatted about whatever women chat about. I faked a few sips, I don't get drunk, ever. Gotta keep my head clear. Hanging with my friends was fun, but every now and then, I'd scan the room for Emily. I caught her dancing with a couple of guys, and it all seemed harmless enough. Time kinda blurred, I'm not sure how long we'd been there. All I knew was I was itching to get home and have my wife all to myself. It had been a couple days since we'd been together, which was forever for us. I was glad she got to let loose, like she wanted. I'd done my part. But when I went looking for her, she was nowhere to be found. I checked every corner of that place, starting to wonder where the hell she could have gone. I bumped into her friend Lisa and asked if she'd seen Emily. Lisa looked edgy and said she'd spotted her dancing with Jim maybe 15 minutes ago. That bad feeling I'd been carrying all night hit me like a punch to the gut, making my stomach twist. I started searching outside the ballroom, poking my head into different areas. I heard voices coming from a small conference room that wasn't being used, so I decided to check it out. As I got closer, I heard a woman caught up in the heat of the moment, and it sounded like Emily. My heart stopped. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. There was my wife, bent over the arm of a chair, with that scumbag Jim behind her. For a second, I was frozen, like my body forgot how to move. It felt like a stroke was hitting me right then and there. They were so caught up in their mess that they didn't even notice me standing there. I just loomed in the doorway for a bit, taking it all in, before their heads finally turned my way. Oh my God, Jake, please, let me explain. Emily screamed, scrambling to pull herself together. You've got nothing to say to me, you lying, I spat, pouring every ounce of venom I had into those words. I treated you like a queen, and this is what I get. We're done. You're not my wife anymore. Look at me. Her head was down, but I grabbed her by the hair, not hard, just enough to make her meet my eyes. What do you see here? You think these are the eyes of the man who loved you? They're empty now, like a dead man's. You ripped my heart out tonight and left me hollow. Now I get why you were so damn excited for this party. What, were you saving your cheating for this lowlife? She let out this gut-wrenching sob. No, Jake, it's not, don't even try to lie your way out of this. I caught you red-handed. Her face was pure panic, mouth moving, but no words came out. While I was tearing into the woman who was about to be my ex, Jim just stood there, smirking like this was all a big joke. Right then, 3 of my buddies, Mike, Brian, and Kevin, barged into the room. Guess Lisa tipped them off that things were about to blow up. They froze, nobody knowing what to say, just taking in the scene. I wheeled around to Jim. And you sorry excuse for a man, I oughta end you right here. He sneered back, all cocky. Lay a hand on me, and I'll have you locked up for assault. My uncle'll fire your ass too. Or maybe I'll just beat you down for fun. Wouldn't be the first time I've had your wife. That smug grin of his pushed me over the edge. You and your uncle can go to hell, I growled. I wasn't just gonna humiliate this guy, I was gonna make him and Emily pay, big time. He had a couple inches on me, but that meant nothing. I was begging him to take a swing. This punk had no clue who he was messing with. Staring at the woman I'd have died for, my anger numbed the pain just enough to keep me standing. What she did. No excuse could fix it. No forgiveness either. Our marriage was ashes. As much as I wanted to crush him, she wasn't worth a 25-year prison stretch. You're gonna regret this, I said, locking eyes with him. I'm coming for you. He wasn't getting the reaction he expected, and I could tell it threw him off. I stepped in front of the door, blocking his way out on purpose. His face flickered with doubt, but he decided to play tough, shoving at me to get past. Big mistake. I sidestepped his push easy, then drove a quick jab into his gut. When he doubled over, I hooked my arm around his neck and started smacking him open-handed, hard. The first slap spun his head like a top, stunning him. He crumpled to the floor, and I lost track of how many times I laid into him. That tough guy was gone, just a whimpering mess now. Please, stop, enough, no more, he begged, sounding like the coward he was. Not even close, I snarled. You're gonna regret screwing my wife for the rest of your miserable life. You stole what was mine. When I'm done, you'll be divorced, disgraced, and broke. I'm suing you for alienation of affection, and I'm coming after the company for you pulling this crap on their dime. I'll be set, and you'll be nothing. You picked the wrong guy to mess with, hear me? The wrong guy. If rage could turn a voice into a weapon, mine was a blade. Just then, 2 cops walked in. I turned to Emily, my eyes burning. Oh, I didn't forget you. You threw away a good man, your husband, for this sniveling piece of trash. You two deserve each other. Jim, still on the floor, started yelling, he attacked me. Arrest him. He's out of his mind. The cops sized up the room, picking up on the situation quick. It was self-defense, officer, Mike piped up. Jake caught this guy with his wife, and the dude tried to jump him. That how it went? One cop asked, looking at Brian and Kevin. Damn right, officer, Brian said. Jake was just protecting himself, Kevin added, he's lying. He beat the hell out of me. Jim wailed, practically losing it. The cops turned to Emily, who looked like she was in a daze, her lips trembling but no sound coming out. You okay, ma'am? Did you see what went down? One of them asked. She just sat there, tears streaming, hands covering her face. I couldn't muster a shred of sympathy for her. Whatever love I'd had was shoved deep down, locked away somewhere I couldn't touch. You wanna press charges against this guy? The sergeant asked, nodding toward Jim. I could tell they were on my side, even though Jim's face was the one puffed up like a punching bag. But he came at me. He's unhinged, I'm telling you. I didn't do a thing. Jim shouted. That's not what 3 people saw, the second cop said, shutting him down. "Officer, take him in," the sergeant said, giving me a look that said he got it. "I'm happy to press charges. Get him out of my sight." He nodded at me, his eyes kind. "If you need anything, just call the station and ask for Officer Miller. I've been through something like this myself, you know." I gave him a quick nod, grateful for the unspoken bond. "We'll catch up soon, Jake," Mike said. "Let's roll, guys. Jake's got some stuff to handle." He walked over, looked me dead in the eyes like he could see my soul breaking, and pulled me into a quick hug. "Stay strong, man," he said before heading out with the others. Now it was just me and Emily in that room. I spotted her panties draped over the chair, grabbed them, and stuffed them in my pocket. "I'd deal with those later." Emily had stopped shaking, but I could see the dread in her eyes, like she knew what was coming. Truth is, I wasn't looking forward to it either. A cold wave washed over me, like something inside had shattered. I felt numb, disconnected from the woman I'd loved with everything I had. I didn't even recognize myself. Staring at her, I thought about how rough she looked, like she'd been used up and tossed aside. How do you wipe someone you love out of your heart? Hell if I knew. One thing was clear, I'd never see her the same again. I had to hold on to my anger. It was the only thing keeping my grief from swallowing me whole and saving what little sanity I had left. Right then, I knew exactly how I'd get my revenge. The scar she'd carved into me wasn't going anywhere, not till the day I die. She'd burned my world to the ground, and the trust was gone. Nothing mattered anymore. "Grab your coat and meet me at the car." "Hurry up," I said, turning my back and walking out. I didn't want her to see the hurt tearing me apart. I sure as hell didn't want her pity. The funeral for our love, our marriage, was starting now. As I gunned the car through the dark, my silence screamed louder than words. "Are we heading home, Jake?" she asked, her voice small. "Home? We don't have one anymore. When you trashed our vows, you tore it all down. That's just a house now, a place where I used to be happy, where I loved a wife who I thought was my best friend," I said, the sadness leaking through despite myself. She started sobbing softly. "Jake, is there any way you could ever forgive me? I'll do anything, I swear. Please, give me a chance." "I'm so sorry," she whispered. "You think I'm ever gonna unsee what I saw tonight? Or forget that bastard bragging about how you let him have you? You turned into my enemy, Emily. You chose to spit on our marriage and give him what belonged to me, over and over. That choice. It killed our marriage. Makes me think the last 4 years were nothing but a damn lie. Please, Jake, forgive me," she begged. "I know it's hard to believe, but I love you with all my heart. I got caught up in the thrill of doing something wrong, like an idiot. I didn't think about what it'd cost. It was like some stupid, childish game. He's nothing compared to you. I was selfish and dumb. Let me make it right. Yell at me, hit me, whatever you need, just don't walk away. I can't live without you." It didn't mean anything. Didn't mean anything. I roared, my hand strangling the steering wheel. It meant everything. My emotions were running wild, but I forced myself to dial it back. "You played a game with my life." I eased off the gas, and the car rolled to a stop. Emily didn't get a chance to respond to my last question. "We're here," I said, my voice flat. "Where the hell are we? Why do I need to get out? What's going on, Jake?" Her eyes were wide, a mix of worry and fear flickering across her face. "Get your ass out of the car. Now." My tone didn't leave room for argument. Emily trailed behind me as I marched up to the door. I knocked. "Mrs. Johnson?" I called out. "Yes, who's this?" "How can I help you?" a woman's voice answered. "I'm Michael Reed. I used to work for your husband's company. Can we talk for a minute?" I said, keeping my grip tight on Emily's arm. Is Jim alright? What's this about? She asked, concern creeping into her tone. Please, come inside, take a seat, she offered, stepping aside. She seemed like the kind of loyal, decent wife I thought I'd had once. What I was about to do would break her heart, and I hated that, but it'd hit Jim where it hurt most. He should have known better than to cross me. To crush him and humiliate Emily, I had to drag his innocent wife into this mess. Some dark, primal urge was pushing me forward, something I couldn't even put into words. This won't take long, Mrs. Johnson, I said, my voice steady. My wife's got something to tell you. All eyes locked on Emily. Go on, tell her, I said, squeezing her arm. She stammered, frozen. Tell her. I barked, tightening my hold. Jake caught me sleeping with Jim tonight at the company Christmas party, she blurted, the words spilling out like they burned her tongue. Tell her how long you've been sneaking around with her husband, I pressed. For the last 4 years, every Christmas party, we'd slip away and hook up, she sobbed. I acted like a fool, and I'm so sorry. Sorry. That's what she said, but who knows? She could have had a string of guys or been with Jim way more than she was letting on. Didn't matter anymore. Her track record for lying was crystal clear. Mrs. Johnson's face twisted with fury, not shock. Deep down, she'd always known Jim was a cheater, but having it thrown in her face like this hit her hard. She steadied herself, then stormed over to Emily and slapped her across the face, sharp and stinging. Emily stumbled back, clutching her cheek, stunned and stinging. Get that trash out of my house. Mrs. Johnson hissed, her voice dripping with venom. I'm gonna divorce that worthless bastard, and you can have him. She glared at Emily like she was something scraped off her shoe. Knowing Jim was in for a hell of a homecoming when he bailed out felt damn good. I knew Emily and I were done for good, and looking at her now just hurt. Never in a million years did I think there'd come a day when the woman I loved would need me to protect her, and I'd just stand there, cold. But here we were pulling up near her sister's place. We're getting divorced, I said, keeping my eyes on the road, not giving her a glance. The house is going on the market, and I'm taking 70% of what we make off it. We'll split our investments down the middle and each keep our own retirement accounts. If you don't fight the divorce, I won't drag your cheating into court with proof from a dozen people who knew what you were up to these past 4 years. I'm sure Mike, Brian, and Kevin would love to twist the knife, considering they saw me lay into your boyfriend. If you push me, I'll mail the whole damn court transcript to every friend and family member you've got. That'll let everyone know exactly what kind of person you are. Your call. Isn't there anything I can do, Jake? Anything at all? Her voice was small, like she was grasping at straws, looking broken and desperate. You already know the answer to that, don't you? I'm not letting this go, not now, maybe not ever. What are you gonna do about it? I know you, Emily. Deep down, you're not a bad person, just someone who made a stupid, selfish choice that's cost us both everything. I believe you might still care about me, but that doesn't change a thing. You were a good wife most of the time, but your ego wrecked lives, mine, yours, even others. You've got this streak of manipulation, always putting yourself first. Maybe I ignored it all those years, but I'm done being blind. Your guilt's gonna eat at you, bit by bit, tearing you apart. When it sinks in that I'm gone for good, you're gonna drown in regret, wishing you could take it all back. You'll beg for my forgiveness, knowing you've lost my love forever. I want you to carry that weight, that pain, until your last breath, knowing there's no way to fix this. The car rolled to a stop in front of her sister's house, and I turned to her one last time. My lawyer will send you papers soon. Don't step foot in the house until noon tomorrow, I'll be gone by then. I'll grab the rest of my stuff when you're not around. It's over, Emily. 6 years of marriage vanished, just like that. Goodbye. I reached into my pocket, pulled out her panties, and handed them to her. Take these. Tears were rolling down her face, and I felt my own eyes burning as she climbed out of the car. Looking back, I hope telling this story means something to someone out there. If it hit you, maybe pass it along, share it with folks who get what it's like to have your world turned upside down. That'd mean a lot.